YouTubers, and welcome back, and today we figure out exactly how much damage this caused. And sometimes, you ever think you jinx yourself for the things you said in the past? Mine is actually one of the weakest 9-inch Fords, but all my splines look good. I'm not making that much power, so she's still pretty good. Maybe when I start hitting over the head, something will happen. Let's go check out the carnage, and that's what we're doing today. Well, it's the perfect day to go over this because it's raining. So let's go ahead and grab this guy right here. Come with me. Let's get past all this without dropping it. Now, if you guys notice, I now have a top filter lid thingy on the LT1. We'll get to that later on. So the aftermarket 28 spline actually still looks pretty darn good. It does look like these lines, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it looks like some of these lines are starting to, on the axle, starting to do this guy right here, starting to twist. So I have no doubt that even the aftermarket 28 spline axle would eventually just took a dump. And here, of course, this one pretty much just blew up. Here's the rest of the pieces to that axle. So that guy obviously is just garbage at this point. All right, so I gotta grab the third member, which is already out. You can see right there. Got it out. Actually, the third member is pretty good. A little bit got scarred up, so let me drag this bad boy out of here real quick. It's like, these things are definitely not the lightest. This is the side that the axle broke on, and it pretty much exploded. There's little bits and pieces of metal all in here. It's still in the housing of the diff. I got to clean all that up, but you can see right here when it broke, it pretty much just went all right here, and all this got chewed up pretty bad. It needs a new bearing right here, but I mean, it's still good though. Just needs a little rebuild and a couple of spots in there. This is actually a True Track 28 spline. So when these guys go ahead and explode, when the axles explode, it pretty much leaves you like freewheeling at that point, which I guess is good with the True Track, because if you're down the track and if an axle breaks, it won't pull you to one side or the other. It'll just, because you need 2 tires to distribute the load on these little worm gears in here, the way it works. If not, then it will not give you any type of traction and just freewheeling. So I guess it's actually good that, you know, these guys are like that, because if an axle breaks, it won't send you into the wall, you know, or if you come up in the air and it breaks in the air, it won't feed you that way or that way into another car. So these are actually pretty good. I'm going to go with a complete spool in my next third member. So obviously it's time to upgrade, and not just upgrading, you know, a couple of components inside the third member. I'm going to go with a complete aftermarket third member and 35 spline axles. I was kind of floating around going to a True Track or, you know, whatnot. It's about $300 to $400 more to add, you know, a limited slip to this. And it was already, these guys are already very pricey as they are. So I decided I'm going to try a full spool on the street right now. We'll see how much I like it. A lot of guys said it's not nearly as bad as you think of short wheelbase vehicles like the S10. So we'll see exactly how bad it is. So that's what I'm doing. But I chose this one because it's way more beefy right here in this section than a stock unit. Everything's just going to be a lot stronger, and I want to make it bulletproof now, and I have to worry about it later. All right, so that is the plan. Brand new 35 spline axles, new bearings, new U-bolts for the drive shaft, brand new bolts for the actual third member. It goes around the thread member, getting all these bolts from that, because I don't know how old those bolts are. My guess is they're probably from a 1978 Lincoln, which is what the housing came out of. So we're getting all new everything to replace that guy down there. So next time we go to the track, hopefully it won't be anything else that breaks. The transmission's been redone. The tune-up's been verified that it's actually a pretty decent tune-up from the dyno. And this right here, let's get to this real quick. All right, so if you guys have followed me at all, you'll know that I went to the dyno recently and we had this top right here. Let me grab this. This top was on there for the dyno. And what we did, put this down here, get it out of the way. So what we did, just out of curiosity, Joe at the dyno, great guy. He knows a lot about cars. Doesn't know too much about carburetors, but he's a fuel injection guy. He loves fuel injection, but he always likes to try new stuff. He doesn't really care. So we decided to take that top off to see what would happen. The horsepower difference didn't do anything, 0. But what it did do, it went from like a 12.4 to 12.5 air-fuel ratio up to a 12.7 to right around 12.78, almost 12.8 on the high end of the curve. So this is interesting. Joe just said, you look at the air fuel, went from like 1240 to 1270, 1280, and it made no more power. He was like, well, I guess you know, I won't make no more power to lean it out. So with that said, I do think that this motor right here could have made 400 wheel horsepower in A. It made 386. Right here, this is a mechanical water pump. You can see right there, which is about, if you go from mechanical water pump over to a electric water pump, it's about 5 or 6 wheel horsepower. And I also have shorty headers. So with long tube headers, that's about another, 10 wheel horsepower, pretty easy. So I think this motor with a couple of mods, it could have made, 400 wheel horsepower. And a lot of people thought that it probably should make that, which I think it can with those particular modifications. And most people who are doing those when their cars, actually most people who are making the higher numbers on these LT1s, they have a 4L60 and they're putting the converter in lockup. My converter never goes lockup because of TH350. And TH350s and high stalls are the worst inefficient things to make power on a dyno. They actually work great on the street, at the track, in the real world, but for putting out numbers, unless you make a whole bunch of power, they are not really there, because a standard transmission, like a 5-speed with a clutch and all that, with no torque converter, is going to make more horsepower on the dyno than one of these guys right here with automatic transmission. So what I mean about dyno numbers versus real world numbers. What I'm saying is, you don't race a dyno. There's plenty of cars that make higher numbers on a dyno here, dyno A, to lower numbers on dyno B. And maybe the lower number car with less horsepower runs faster than car A on the higher horsepower number dynos over here. So you don't race a dyno. So what I'm saying is, don't get caught up just in dyno numbers. A dyno is a tool, and what this tool told me is that my motor definitely likes to have a little richer mixture when it comes to the AFR on the wideband. And I verified that because it was definitely felt a lot better when I used this filter and then fattened it up right around 11.8 to 12.0. So the wideband is now reading 11.8 to 12.0. So it got a cooler charge into the motor. The motor liked that charge and it made more power. Like I said, I can't verify that, but my butt dyno said that it was. Okay, I do realize that I probably said butt one too many times. But let me take a drink real quick. Some spicy water. So in the next video, I'm going to be getting all the components, new components down there to replace this 28 spline axle stuff. 35 spline, full spool. I'm going to put it in there. We'll go for some rips and see how it works. And hopefully everything else is okay with this. I'm like 99% sure the transmission is fine, because the way the True Track works is once you break an axle, it doesn't go anywhere. I put it in gear. I saw the drive shaft spinning, so hopefully the transmission is fine. It should be good. But again, with that said, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and peace.